The discovery of lasers is revolutionary to the world of science. It has enabled a great change and development in the past 50 years, specifically in terms of medical technology. Though it is a fairly new invention, the science behind lasers, quantum physics, has been theorized for a little over 100 years. But what are lasers? The name laser is derived from the acronym for Light Amplification by Stimulated Emission of Radiation. It is a device that is able to emit narrow beams of light, meaning that all rays of light are coherent with each other to create one wavelength or color. A profound understanding of physics, specifically that of quantum theory, is what led to the creation of lasers. It goes back to Albert Einstein, who thought of the idea of stimulated light emissions in 1917. Prior to this, he was able to theorize that light was composed of wave energy called photons. His theory suggested that atoms that make up a material have an extra amount of energy and emit photons. These photons could have the capacity to stimulate surrounding atoms to emit further photons. Theoretically, all the photons would have the same energy and wavelength and travel in the same direction. But it took 40 years before physicists were able to take this theory and put it into use as an actual laser. At first, the concept of a laser was not taken seriously, as scientists were not able to figure out how they worked. By the 1960s, a huge expansion in lasers was underway, including the development of high-powered gas lasers, chemical lasers, and semiconductor lasers. By the 70s, semiconductor lasers, which worked in room temperature, became available and were used for compact discs. These days, lasers are critical to our lives, as they are the key tools for communication information, taking measurements and chemical analysis for the environment, food and medical specimen, and transforming materials like in surgery. Lasers are now used for laser eye surgery, which has been around longer than what people might suspect. The concept of altering the surface of the eye has been around for years in a number of forms. A man named Professor Baraker led the way for laser surgery as he worked in reflective surgery more than 50 years ago. Laser eye surgery first came into use between 20 and 25 years ago and was introduced by a professor of ophthalmology named John Marshall from London. Laser eye surgery has become a major solution for many Canadians looking to correct their vision and avoid using glasses. Prior to using this surgery to correct eyesight, everyone had to accept glasses as the solution. Laser eye surgery has proven itself beneficial as a solution to those who do not wish to use glasses. But like everything, there are costs to pay. Generally, laser eye surgery is used to correct one's vision, problems that could include nearsightedness, farsightedness, and distorted vision. More recently, it is used to deal with presbyopia, which prevents people from focusing on nearby objects, which comes with age and is otherwise dealt with using reading glasses. The shape of the cornea plays a big role in the eye's ability to focus. The surgeon uses a laser device to change the shape of the cornea. There are a number of laser surgeries used to treat the problems in the eyes. One is known as LASIK, which is a more complicated surgery compared to others. The process requires the surgeon to first cut a flap in the cornea with a very sharp blade, then lift it and use a laser to remove the required amount of tissue from inside the cornea. The flap is put back after the procedure and is left to heal. More recent LASIK surgery technology provides a more detailed image of the eye, which assists the surgeon to be much more precise when correcting the patient's vision. But, though it is effective and it is less painful than other operations, LASIK does involve cutting into the cornea, which increases the risk of complications. Some include having dry eyes, which could only be mild, but could also affect one's vision quite severely, poor quality of night vision, and even a severe problem called corneal estesia, which is a weakening of the cornea and could lead to required treatment with corneal transplant or implant. LASIK is another type of laser surgery that requires the surgeon to cut the outer layer of the cornea with a fine blade and use alcohol to loosen and lift the layer, under which the laser beam is directed. When the procedure is complete, the layer of the cornea is put back into place. LASIK is considered the best solution for fixing minor eye problems that require correction, and the healing process only takes about 2 weeks. Though there are similar problems as found with LASIK surgery, they are less common and not as painful or complicated. Laser eye surgery in Canada can cost on average around $2,000 per eye. Laser eye surgery is not generally covered by insurance policies since it is considered an elective procedure. But the health spending account sees this surgery as an eligible expense, meaning that the costs of laser eye surgery can be reduced as a pre-tax expense. That does not mean that the treatment is accessible to everyone, however, as there are some who do not have the money to afford this surgery and are sometimes not able to access the health spending account.